How's it going, Depesh? Right, I'm going to show you, I'm not going to show you all of it, but I'm going to show you how I create your nutrition plan. So if you ever want to do it, you can do it in the future. So first of all, I've got this is what you're going to be following. I've got to figure out, first thing I've got to do is figure out your calories. So I'll do that right now for you. So I use this formula here. There's a women one, obviously that's not you. Then there's the men one. So this is the formula I used. And then I've got your details. So I've already put it in. So I've kind of gone past that. So I'm just going to figure out this equation. So the next step is figure out this equation, which helps give me your BMR, so basic metabolic rate. So I'm just going to pause it whilst I figure it out, and I'm going to bring it back. So I've gone slightly ahead. So what I've done is I've figured this calculation out, which is 2,734, which means if you eat 2,734 calories and done absolutely nothing all day long, laid in bed, didn't move a muscle, you would remain the way you are. But obviously we included a bit of activity, which I did. I put it sedentary, even though I know you do exercise, but with your kind of job role, it's best to have sedentaries, which gives you your final number, which is 3,280, meaning if you was to continue your lifestyle eating 3,280 calories, then you'd remain the way you are. So now we're going to have to put a deficit, which I like to do between 20 to 40%. So for yourself, I'm going to go for 25%. And then we're going to get the final number that we're going to be using for you to get shredded. Give me a second. So your final number for you to eat, for what you need to eat, continuing and to get shredded, is 2,460 calories. But to keep it simple, we're just going to round up. So you can have 2,400 calories. Now, what we're going to do, we need to use this number, 2,400 calories. This is what you're going to be eating every day. And it's going to be a daily calorie intake. So here's your little box. What we're doing is something called carb cycling. So 3 days a week, you're going to have low carb. On the fourth day, you're going to have a higher carb. And on a low carb day, this is how we're going to break your macros. This is the percentage we're going to do it with. And on a high carb, this is the percentage we're going to be using. So first thing I like to do is figure out all the calories. And it's quite simple. So what we do is 25% of 2,400 calories would give us, that's completely wrong. No, it's not. It's right. So we have to calculate that. So what we're going to do is try and figure out the fat. So 25% of your calories has to come from fat. So 2,400 times 0.25. So 600 calories is going to be fats on your low carb day. And then 2,400 times 0.45 is going to give you 1,880 of protein on your low carb day. 1,080 calories has to come from protein, and obviously the remaining is 2,400 times 0.3 equals 720. 720. So the next thing we do is we figure out the grams. So how many grams is easier for me to calculate within the next part, but if you ever want to do it, this is how you do it. So 600 calories, we've got to figure out how many grams that is of fats. So 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. So we go 600 divided by 9 equals 66. Ooh, that's not a very good number, but as you can see, it's got 66.6. To keep it simple, I round it up or round it down. So for this, as you'll want to lose weight, I just keep it the way it is, 66. I don't round it up at all, actually. I just round it to the number, 66 grams carbs. And then I do that all the way through. So I'm going to do it for this side, and I can do it for the high carb. So I'm going to pause the video and get it done. So I filled this table out. This is really important because when you're on your days, you're going to know exactly what to eat, when to eat. Or sorry, if you forget your food, you don't have your food, then you can use this tool, which I'm going to use in a second, which is MyFitnessPal. And these are the numbers that you've got to hit daily. Okay, so when you calculate your stuff, as long as you're within these numbers, 600 calories of fat, blah 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 blah, you'll be fine. I like to go from the grams. I find the grams the easiest for myself. But what I'm going to do now, so this is your nutrition plan, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And you just repeat this, repeat. 3 days low carb, 4th day high carb. There's 6 meals here, as you can see on each day. If you don't have time to eat the meals, the best way to do it is go eat 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And if you do that, it helps your system work like brilliantly well, because it feeds it what it needs and the body utilizes it very quickly. So the timing works well. If you don't have time, you can bunch the meals together if needs, but there's more than enough for you. And when you first do this, you probably feel like this is too much food, but after a while, your body will start using this quite well, and you will look forward to the food. So this is the best kind of meals you can have. You got the right amount of red meat in 1 week. You got the right amount of fish in 1 week. You got the right amount of other meats, the veg, your carbs, like everything, antioxidants. Like, it's a ridiculously good plan. So what we do, this is how I figure out. I've got to figure. This is my details. These are my numbers. So now I've got to change this so it hits these below. Okay, so it hits this table below here. Might not make sense right now, but I'll go through it. So what happens, we go to MyFitnessPal like so, and what we've got to do, we've got to insert all the ingredients of just one day, insert all the ingredients, and then it will give us the total at the bottom here, and then we can start manipulating it. So I won't go through it all, but I'm going to chuck a couple of ingredients in just to show you what I'm talking about. So as you can see on here, our first ingredient is oats. So if I type in here oats like so, search, it comes up 1 cup. I like to always change it to grams. There's no grams there, so I'm going to change the brand. So I've changed the brand to 1 gram. Reason why I do that, because when I go to 1 gram, if I look at here, it's got 40 grams of oats. So I'm going to chuck servings, which is here, 40 grams, add to food diary, like so, and that at the bottom gives you total. I'm just going to add another one in just to give you an idea. So the next one is 100 grams of blueberries. So type in blueberries, like so. 1 cup, as you can see, change it to the grams again. It was 100 grams of blueberries, so 100 servings, add to food diary, like so. So now what I'm going to do, as you can see, I put it into just 1 folder, into the 1 category. So I put everything into the breakfast. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all of these ingredients here into it. So I'm going to pause the video, do that, bring you back when I've done it. So as you can see, I've inserted all the ingredients, and now what we need to look at is here at the bottom. So you can see carbs, fats, and protein. These are the 3 things that I follow at the top here: carbs, fats, and protein. And then I go to the bottom, see what the results are. Okay, that's the results that you've got. Then I go back to this page. I go to our table, and because this is a low carb day, we got to hit these targets. Okay. So 66 grams of fats, and at the moment we are at 37. We've got 270 grams of protein, and at the moment we are at 195. And we need 180 carbs, and at the moment we've got 134. So this is where the mind-numbing work comes into place. It's very tedious, but once you learn this, it's brilliant. So if we look at these lists here, what we've got to do, we've got to manipulate these numbers so we can get them as close as you can. It's very hard to get them to the exact, but as long as you get them as close as you can as possible, then it's great. But so what we've got to do, we've got to really increase the fats, and we've got to increase the protein, and not so much of the carbs. So you've only got like 50 grams of carbs. So we need to double the fats, and we need to add another 100 by the looks of it to the protein. Yeah, just about 70 to the protein. So what I do, I go up this row, see what's got a high fat content and a high protein content with a low carb content, and change the quantity of it. So straight off the bat, you've got 14 grams of fats and 23 grams of protein, which is the salmon. So that's great news. So if we double this, so at the moment you've got 100 grams, as you can see. So we double it. So instead of changing 100 servings, we'll go to 200 servings, hit save. And instantly we're very close to our fat content, and we're only 50 away from our protein content, not even 50. Yeah, we're 50 away. So now we've still got to increase the protein and we've got to increase the carbs. So I look up it, I look for what can I increase the protein and carbs. By looks of it, if I double the yogurts, that would do me favor. So here we go to yogurt, instead of 200 servings, I do 400 servings, which give me 400 grams. And it's not really disturbing the fat content, which is great. So now we're quite close to the carb content because we need 180 carbs, as you can see here, and 270 of protein. So we're actually getting, this is actually really good. So now we need to increase all of them, and you get the gist. So, and that's how you work it out. So let me play around with it and I'll get it as close as I can. I'll bring you back. So I've finished it, but this is probably the closest I've got someone's meal plan to the actual numbers. Because if you look at our numbers, we want 66 grams of fats. Here we've got 66 grams of fats, as you can see. We need 270 of protein, and we got 268. And we need 180 grams of carbs. And here we got 176. And it's given us a calorie count of 2,479, which is brilliant because your actual calorie count was that. So we've kind of hit bang on exactly what you need to eat. So what I do then is I use these numbers. I then manipulate this one here and distribute it accordingly. So I'm going to change these numbers. So, 40 grams of oats, 100 grams of protein, and that's pretty much it. So let me get that done and I'll get back to you. Done. So your whole thing's changed now. And this is the meal plan you're going to be following. Just repeat it day after, over and over again. And when you do this, you're going to receive results the same day. It is that powerful. But that's how you create a meal plan. So I hope you enjoy. If you want to, and we'll get done. Have a good one.